All right. Today we're continuing doing the predictions for season 14 of RuPaul's Drag Race, of course, and joining me this week is the legend himself, another mostly Drag Race related channel here on YouTube. You know him as JackFed, so I'm just gonna call you Jack, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool. So what's up?
What's up? Oh my gosh, I'm actually, as soon as you started recording, I just got so nervous. I've been watching you like forever, like since, how long have you been making videos? Like since 2017, 2018?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, I think that was when my first like big video happened.
Literally, since then I've been watching you, and it's kind of crazy that this is happening, but I am so honored to be a guest on your show.
Listen, I usually in my videos like yell at people to start making their own videos about Drag Race, and I'm glad that there was somebody that listened.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because your stuff is just fucking amazing. Like,
Thank
listen,
you.
for the people that don't know, which like, how do you not know? Like, you must have seen some video of yours, like, some video of yours must have been recommended to anybody watching this. So you do these like deep dive videos where you like analyze the show, but also give your point of view on like, let's say the more of a storyline aspect,
Right,
in a way,
yeah.
you know, just like how certain things affect a season. So what made you like really go into making videos?
It's just like a loop of praising each other. Part of it was you. Like, I think that I started to kind of dissect Drag Race a lot more after watching your videos, because you had an outlook that was way more like, okay, let's actually look at the show not as is, maybe kind of go a little deeper. So I kind of took that, and I love other reality shows too, and I love the idea of producers kind of trying to meddle it without making it too obvious. So I don't know, I just like looking at things from a producer's perspective, but also like making sure that I'm a psych major. I say this a lot now. I don't know why I say it so much, but I'm a psychology major, so I like looking at it from the producer's perspective and then the queen's perspective too, and make sure that people have like, I guess, a full idea of what's going on, so they don't, I don't know, I like keeping things light and fun, and making sure that if someone doesn't have like a good depiction on a show, I can like defend them and say, hey, just because they aren't like behaving the best on the show, let's not bring hate online.
Well, no, yeah, of course, because the show is just like, what, an hour long, and they're supposed to show like, what, 12 people during a 3-day span, like,
Right.
just logistically it shouldn't, I mean, not it shouldn't, but like it absolutely does not show like the true image of somebody. Can I tell the story about the defining the eras of Drag Race video?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so over my winter break, which if you're in university, you know that there is no such thing as a break. Like I fully studied and worked on YouTube every day during the like first 2 weeks of January, and so I wrote and also made a defining the eras of Drag Race video, which was inspired by Peridium doing the defining the eras of Survivor.
Oh my god.
Oh, absolutely. And so I wanted to post that video if and when an alleged future season of Drag Race is announced. Now, I don't want to spoil which season that might be for anyone watching that does not want to get spoiled. So I'm keeping it vague, but I think you know what that season might be. And then I was like, you know what the hell? That season may never come out, so I'll just post this now. Who knows when, if and when that will ever happen. And so I scheduled it to come out at like, I don't know, like 10 p.m. my time or something. And then like 2 or 3 hours before that, I see your video, literally the exact same title. God. And I'm like, well, I can't post it now.
I'll set the record straight right now. If you see a video like that coming up in the future on Yuki's channel, full blessing. Obviously, the great minds just think alike, and I am excited to see like what you have to say, because it could be completely different. Like, yeah, just crazy different. And I don't own the concept or anything. It just sucks that
of course,
the timing worked out the way it did. I'm sorry.
You have no reason to apologize. Like, it's just, coincidental. Listen, you did a great job. Like, I still have that video on my laptop, just like, if the season ever happens.
Right.
But honestly, I don't think I could add much to the discourse, because I wrote similar things that you said there.
Yeah.
So, it might be kind of pointless, but I'll see. Who cares? To get over this constant, like, complimenting each other thing, Let's get into season 14. Now, are you enjoying the season?
Okay, here's the thing. I am really enjoying it just for the queens. It's weird because I don't feel like I'm getting super attached to any of them aside from like I was already a huge fan of Cornbread going into the season. So I really like Cornbread and I like all the girls on the season, but there's not like a huge standout right now, which I'm not super complaining about because I think everyone's doing super good, but that's also kind of it's annoying because a lot of the time I feel like there's challenges where there's a couple queens who do super well, but there's no definitive winner. I think the only time we saw like a really definitive winner as of recent was Lady Camden on episode 7, the Daytona Wins one where she did the runway reveal. Like that was her episode. Love Jorgeous, but you know the Jorgeous win was kind of contentious, and even Daya's in the recent episode wasn't that. Like I don't know. A lot of them are toss-ups because all the queens do super well, but sometimes I like seeing a queen dominate a whole episode like we saw a lot on season 13 with Simone and like Rose and Gottmik, stuff like that.
It's getting better, I'll say that. And as like you said, the cast this season is really good. Like these queens are really cool and they're so much different to each other. There isn't any single like two queens that are like same in their style.
Right.
Even like in their just like presentation to the audience, so it's really interesting to watch. So other than Cornbread, who sadly is not in the competition anymore, do you have any other favorites from the season?
Oh gosh, okay, like DeJa and Camden right now, they're both California queens. Lady Camden is from Sacramento, which is like the closest major city to me. Hearing that, like no one talks about Sacramento is the capital of California. It's like there are so many bigger cities in California that people actually care about. And so seeing a queen from Sacramento go on the show, like I obviously have to root for them. And she's been doing just super well recently. I've really liked all the queens overall. I'm sad that Carrie just left because she was such a narrator. If I had to narrow it down to someone else, I would probably say Bosco. I think Bosco is just... Oh, it's so great. I love Bosco a lot.
So, what do we know about episode 9 from the preview? Well, let's see. The queens have to do DragCon panels. That's the Maxi Challenge. And I'm guessing they're doing it in 2 groups of 4. I'll say later which 2 groups, what the division is. So, firstly, we are led to believe that Bosco and Willow are doing well. Willow especially... Allegedly, she's making RuPaul crack up. However, Jorgeous is clearly struggling, and Angeria is shown on the runway in this gorgeous Bob the Drag Queen pattern look. I don't know what that pattern's called. I'm calling it Bob the Drag Queen pattern. So we know that Angeria is either in the top 3 or in the bottom 3, again, because she's shown on the runway and there aren't many queens around her. Now, the 2 teams, based on the preview, consist of Bosco, Daya, Jasmine, and Jorgeous on one team, and Angeria, Camden, DeJa, and Willow on the other. I don't know. And seeing that there's this division, I assume that they would do a high team and a low team, but let's just stay on the classic 3-2-3 division now for the top 8 and see which 2 queens you have as your safe placing queens first.
It was a toss-up. I've been talking to my friend who has also been watching the season and knows like a little bit less than all the production side of everything. Right now, I have, I want to say, I think Camden and DeJa as safe. It's a challenge that's kind of up their alley from like what we see from the promo, but I don't know if they would be complete standouts from it. I don't know if they haven't really presented a lot on the show that they could kind of transfer into a talking topic, I guess. So I think those are my 2 safe queens for that.
So... Not to be repetitive, but I also have
Actually, oh no.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Camden, she was the first queen that I put in the safe tier because last episode she was told that she was a little too shy, and so she told the judges that she's not going to disappoint them anymore, and then like I don't know if she would be able to go from like a low to a high placement. I also don't think that Lady Camden would allow herself to be low 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
It just doesn't seem like she's that kind of a competitor because she's been doing really well. Sadly, DeJa is the only queen on this season that I just have like kind of no opinion on.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So she was just kind of like the, I guess, leftover queen, which I hate saying, but yeah.
I completely understand like how DeJa is being perceived. I just don't think that they're giving her a strong edit whatsoever. But I love her runways. Like her first runway and the first episode she was on is one of my favorites of the season so far. She's like a slow burner. I feel like I don't know if she's gonna go much further, but I feel like she might do really well on an all-star season.
Who are your high three queens? Listen, I'm just gonna guess from the get-go, Angeria, right? And then who else?
I think Angeria, Willow, and Bosco are
Motherfucker, we have the same.
I knew it.
Same division.
Angeria is Angeria. I think Angeria is just dominating this competition with a sense of both, you know, the comedy, but also like she's just so smart. I think that Bosco has a lot to say. I don't know exactly the topics that they're talking about, but it has stuff to do with, I think, fatherhood or like dating and stuff like that. I think I might be off with this, but if they
said something like relating to men.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
I think Bosco would have a lot to say about... She was talking about her boyfriend in Untucked, I think, and how supportive he is. So I think they could really, like, transfer that into, like, a strong storyline within the episode. And I don't know, something about Willow, just, you know, intelligent, very open to conversation. And just, I feel like she can spin, like, any conversation into something that's, like, TV gold.
Oh, yeah. Her line from the preview that's like, I've never been in a relationship and I've never been married because I only do anal. I still was not expecting it. I laughed out loud. The same like when they did the like mock previews for the season where she was doing the whole, where's Jeffrey?
Oh my god, yeah.
So fucking funny.
I loved her entrance. I know that was a very like debatable entrance, but I loved it. And every step of the way, we are getting like a new layer to her that I wouldn't expect. But the second she shows it, I'm like, no, that makes sense. Like last week with the choreography, so good.
Oh yeah, but I do have to say this. So about Angeria as a high queen, people seem to be like kind of turning on her in a way.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting comments that are like, "Oh, Angeria is so boring. She's always high. She's better." And like, what? We're watching a competition.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to see her do well.
Like, she started out getting the praise, like, kind of how Simone was getting praise on season 13. Right. But then the reaction kind of went from Simone to people's reaction to Rosé. Like, people are like, oh, she's a competitive queen. That's a good competitor. But she's boring. And I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I have only... Angeria has so many moving parts right now. You know, just like seeing if she could keep her streak up. Like, it could get a little stale seeing her high if you're like an average viewer, but I like seeing queens do well. And she also has that little thing going on with Lady Camden too. It just seems like she's just super entertaining. So I don't know why people would be thinking this other than like they want to see a queen fail, or at least maybe see like a little humility in them. But I guess the humility we saw was in the episode where she was just safe.
I mean, we see humility from Angeria literally every episode. She's like, right. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and then like, you're the winner. Actually, like, which honestly, if that's a strategy,
I wouldn't put it past her. But at the same time, she comes off as, I'm not saying it's like disingenuous to do that because she's just kind of playing into producer storylines and all that. But it's not, or I don't know how to describe it. It's smart. She's just smart. So even if she isn't like trying to play into these storylines, I know that like going into a challenge that she may not be comfortable in, she can still like absolutely dominate it, and that's what we've seen so far.
So then our low queens are Jasmine, Jorgeous, and Daya, right?
Right.
Who do we start with? Daya, I guess?
Daya,
yeah, let's start with her.
This is kind of Daya and Jasmine put together. I feel like there is that feud that's being pushed between them, but I don't know how long they can like keep that up. So I feel like it might come to a head in this episode. I forgot, were they on the same team?
So these three were in the same team with Bosco.
With Bosco, okay, yeah. Interesting. I think that, you know, we've had that the little storyline set up with Jasmine kind of talking over people, and she's been able to overcome that a little bit, but I think with the added pressures of being on the same team as Daya, I feel like they're gonna butt heads really bad. And then I feel like we've seen a big turn in the competition where, you know, Daya was top 2 and then won. It might get to the point where it's like Daya versus Jasmine and then Daya comes out on top. So I feel like they might be the bottom 2. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. And then
we'll also do that too.
Okay.
I love that Daya is slowly becoming like a villain, but she's so clearly doing it on purpose.
Oh, for sure. Oh my god, it's so funny how people like are getting mad at her for it, but like not completely seeing that she's doing it like for the screen time and to show that she wants this.
So you think that Daya and Jasmine are going to be in the bottom two?
I think so.
I kind of want it to be Jorgeous and Jasmine.
Interesting.
Just because I want, like, the lip sync of the season.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
You know, because, I mean, Jasmine just fucking murdered every single lip sync that she was in. Jorgeous as well. And I think that, well, for me, I think that Jasmine is going home this episode, but unlike you, I think that she's going to be sent home by Jorgeous.
Yeah, I could definitely see that too. I think it's definitely up to the producers whether they would want to push the Daya versus Jasmine storyline, which I don't think is 100% needed, or they want a gigantic gag lip sync, which I think that, like, after you said that, I think I would want that also.
So we said that we both think that Jasmine is going home, right?
I think so, yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the challenge?
It's tough because if Bosco is on the team with the three that we think are going to be low, I feel like Bosco will probably like get the praise, but definitely not win. I guess Willow. I think Willow's another one that they want to push, and giving Willow a win after a couple safe placements would be really good, just to like keep her in our minds. And like with Angeria, I mean, she's been high all the time, so like she's constantly like being exposed to us. So getting Willow back up there, I think would be smart of them to do, and I think Willow can definitely be a justified winner.
Yeah, I also think that Willow is going to win.
Nice.
So basically, for anybody that's watched so far, this was totally pointless. We could have just said like these are the queens that we think are going to be, you know, high, safe, low, and that's it. Since we went through all of that, and because you mentioned Lady Camden previously as like one of your favorites and one of the queens that you want to see in that like finale, do you think that she has a chance at winning? And if not, who do you think should win the season?
Oh my gosh, it's tough because though she's on like an upward trajectory, I don't know if I see her going like the extra mile. I feel like she could make it to top 4. Could I just say my top 4, I guess?
Yeah, of course.
Right now my top 4 is Bosco, Angeria, Lady Camden, and Willow.
Yep,
and
same.
I mean, all of them, it's nice that they have so many spread out wins because it keeps people guessing. That's my top 4 right now, and I think that they are just the most consistent. I think if not Lady Camden, it's got to go to either Angeria or Willow, because they were set up so early to be front runners, and I think that they've really consistently done well in the competition.
So you don't think that Bosco has a chance at winning?
Oh gosh, no, that whole top 4 is so strong. I really think we just have to see the rest of the episodes and see like where it goes from here, but right now I think Angeria is my pick.
Every week I say that Angeria is my pick, and then people yell at me, so I'm not going to change my answer. I still think that my mind says Angeria, my heart says Bosco or Willow. I guess my chin says Lady Camden. That's mean.
Oh my god. No.
You know what? Let's end it on this joke.